everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Madita, and as you might know, I like to read, and in combination of not having a social life, that means that I read 40 books in August. I'm going to be showing you the 40 books I read in August and giving you a little bit of a review for each of them. So, let's just get started right away. The first book is Lover or Loser by Tessa Bailey. I thought this book was okay. I had a few issues with Dom, the male love interest in this book, specifically because I did not like how he treated his wife. His wife, Rosie. I love Rosie. I don't care what anybody says. Rosie is my best friend. She has passions. She has something she wants to do with her life. And right from the beginning, I thought she did the correct thing she had to do, especially from where we were starting off in this book. Their marriage has come to a point where Rosie doesn't think that Dom loves her anymore. And she then decides to sign them up to couple therapy. Now, over the course of the book, they obviously try to heal their relationship. I really liked how Rosie put so much energy into saving her relationship with Dom. I mean, Dom put energy in as well, but throughout the entire book, I did not feel any chemistry between the characters. I loved the plot line. I thought it was amazing. I love the idea of this. I love the therapy. I love therapy personally too. But there's one specific thing that happened that they were told to do in therapy, and yes, they kind of did it, but not fully, which kind of reminded me of their relationship before the therapy. And it just made me so mad because I thought, Dom, don't you want to work on this relationship too? Why are you doing this? So, love Rosie. Dom and I just don't vibe with each other. So this is a good 3-star read. Next, I read Tools of Engagements, also by Tessa Bailey, and this book is sadly only 2 stars. This book is about Bethany and Wes. I, yet again, love Bethany. She was amazing in this book. I really liked how we got to know her, especially because she grew so much throughout this book. Now, Wes. I don't have an issue with you as a person, but you were just horny. On top of that, there is this entire plot line of a reality TV show, which is just not my thing. And you're probably like, Madita, why did you buy the book then? Well, I bought the entire trilogy, but as I said, I didn't like the TV plotline. I did, however, love the banter between the siblings in this book, since it's a sister-brother competition about who can renovate the house better. And I thought it was really fun to have some sibling rivalry in here. It brought a lot of humor, but then the ending disappointed me again, because just for me, the ending was way too quickly. It went from in 2 seconds. It was like we did a 7-year time skip and it wasn't even 7 years. There's so much change and so much character development happened off screen that I was disappointed in the ending, especially for Bethany. Now, the next book I read was an absolute disaster, and that's The Cheat Sheet. 1 star. I would love to give this book 0 stars. I hated Bree and Nathan. They make I'm actually having literally issues right now talking about this book. I need to remind you all that these are grown adults. These people are older than me and they act like 5-year-olds. And they're not the type of adult that is still a child on the inside. No. They're just immature. Bree talked in such an annoying way. I understand she was supposed to be quirky, but she wasn't quirky. She was just so annoying. I wanted her to shut up every single second of this book. And then Nathan, I don't get you. There were so many scenes with him and his football team, and they all acted like 5-year-olds. I know that no guy that age talks that well. The way him and his friends had these conversations, I was so confused on what I was reading. Then I also read another book by Sarah Adams this month, and now I have finally read all her books and I don't have to read this stuff again, because guess what this book is? 1 star. First of all, these are grown adults and they're acting like 5-year-olds. Why? Please stop. It's not funny, it's not quirky, it's annoying and weird. Lucy and Cooper had chemistry, but Lucy was so annoying. Lucy has a child, she has a son. Her son acted more mature than her. How is that even possible? And Lucy's older brother also acts like a child. Why are you Lucy's older brother? I don't even know your name, that's how irrelevant you are to me. Why are you telling your sister that's at least 25 and your best friend Cooper, who's also at least 25, that they can't date each other? You are an adult. Stop. Your sister is not 2 years old. You can't tell her what to do. Next, I read the Grip trilogy by Kennedy Ryan. I got the 3-in-1 set. And the first one is Flo. And I gave Flo 4 stars. I really liked that book. We meet all the characters obviously for the first time. We meet Grip and Bristol as well as Ricin. So we have Bristol, who is the twin sister to Ricin, but they haven't seen each other in years because Ricin moved to LA after this giant fight with his family. So Bristol comes to visit him. There she meets Grip, the love interest, who is so charming and amazing, and I loved him, and I thought he was such a good and detailed character. And right away, Bristol and Grip hit it off. I was rooting for them from the beginning. I wanted them to end up together. We get their first encounter, their first kiss, which is just so good. I will remember that. That kiss was so cute. I also loved how in that book we saw the relationship of Bristol and her twin brother Ricin, as well as Grip and Ricin. I thought it was really interesting to see all of that stuff. It is very short though, since it's a 0.5 book. It's technically considered the prequel. The next book is obviously Grip, which is my favorite book out of the series. It's also 4 stars. And in that book, we discover the up and downs of Bristol's and Grip's relationship. And I really, really loved it. I was rooting for them. I was waiting for them to have their moments, since we start the book off with a bit of tension going on. And I thought it was just super cute. A lot of friendship, family scenes. We get a lot of more info on Grip in this book as well. We get a few flashbacks to him as a child in Compton. And I loved how this book really talked about the topic of inequality between races in the US, and I liked how it was included in the story as well as in the romance, and it was a really prevalent topic that I thought was really important, especially because of how it was combined into the music industry in this book, since this is about a singer. The third book in this trilogy is Still, and I gave this book 3 to 3.5 stars. In this book, I was just hit punch after punch, pain, more pain, and just for funsies, even more pain.
I was expecting a happy ending!
I mean, in the end, we do get a happy ending, but we just got hit with pain after pain, and by the end, I was crying. I just think they went through one too many bad things in this book, as well as the fact that for some reason, I didn't think that the chemistry between the two characters was as good as in the last book, because both Bristol and Grip did things that I didn't think they would do again after the ending of the first book. Otherwise, I thought this book was still really good in my opinion. Then I read one of my new favorite books. I just finished this book today, and I am a changed person. This book is called When You Were Everything, and this is a YA book about friendship. It is not romance focused. There is romance in here, a subplot of romance, but the main plot of this book is losing a friend. I was crying. I was hyperventilating. I was sending a voice message to Lily.
I get so crying. Oh, the main character is so dumb. Why would she say this?
I was sitting in the kitchen and Vanessa was there and I was hyperventilating again. This book was so sad and so realistic. It was painful. Obviously, some of the drama in this book is definitely not realistic, but most of the quotes in relation to any of the relationships in this book were so good. This book's about Cleo and Layla, obviously. Cleo and Layla were best friends, and at the end of this book, they are not friends anymore. And this book is told in a then versus now perspective, and we see the different stages of their friendship, where they broke apart, where they were in pain. Both Cleo as well as Layla do a lot of things in this book that made me super mad. And then everything is just going downhill, and you feel the pain that they're going through. And there are so many other relationships going on at the same time, and you could tell how realistically this was written. And the author also said that this was a closure book for her for a lot of friendships that she went through, and I think this really helped with making this book so realistic, especially with the inclusion of Macbeth. And I really liked how that was used to compare and analyze the relationships that she has in real life. I also really like the character development of Cleo in this book from the beginning to end. We see a lot of growth. This will definitely be a book I will not be forgetting anytime, and I'm definitely going to be reading more books by this author now, because I am absolutely convinced that she is going to be one of my favorite authors now. Next, I read almost every book by Monica Murphy, it feels like, but I did not, because that author has like 80 million books. These books, I don't think you understand. I was throwing them across my room because they sucked so much. First, I read Close to Me by Monica Murphy. This is a 1-star read. Why, you may ask? Well, there are explicit scenes between minors. On top of that, Autumn should not be with Ash Davis. I did not like Ash Davis. I did not like how he acted. I also did not like how Autumn's dad acted throughout this entire book, actually. Why are guys like this? I literally hate men. Now, the next book by Monica Murphy I read is Falling for Her. Now, this is about Jakey,
Also known as Jake.
as well as Hannah. Fuck Jake. Why are you talking about girls like that? I don't get you, and you should not have ended up with Hannah because Hannah is better than you and deserves better than you. You suck. On top of that, Jakey acted for no reason like Archie from Riverdale. He could have literally said,
You have never experienced the highs and lows of high school football.
it's literally high school. You can calm down. There was so much drama around the football in this book. I cannot even begin to explain to you how much testosterone these 16-year-olds had. Need I remind you that you haven't even gone through puberty? And then there was Hannah, sweet Hannah, who was an artist. But then Jakey just exists and I just want to throw up. I just want to... And then I read Addicted to Him. Now, Eli, I literally wish you had never stepped foot near Ava or any other woman, actually. Let me give you a bit of a backstory. Eli is from the rival school, so Eli and Ava are enemies, obviously. Yet we start off with Eli breaking into Ava's room and literally forcing himself on her, and then they end up together. What the fuck are you talking about? Eli throughout this entire book does not get better, and he slut shames every single girl. And then he again thinks that football is so important and posts weird stories on Snapchat about Shaky. And then to top it all off and put the cherry on top, Ava's dad as well as her brother acted as if Ava was their property. Especially Jake, who by the way is the older brother. Jake treats Ava like she is dirt on the floor. You are so disrespectful towards your sister. I'm actually
About to punch the wall.
And then this book ends on a fucking cliffhanger and you have to read the next book. Meant to Be is a continuation of Ava and Eli's story. And guess what? Eli still doesn't deserve Ava, and Eli gets even worse in this book. And who else gets worse? The totally amazing older brother that we all love. We also get so many other horrible male characters that I never want to hear about ever again. But sadly you do, because the other books are about them. Yay! Now the next book in the Monica Murphy series is Fighting for You. Mind you that Diego is the biggest asshole throughout this entire series. In this book, I just want to tell you again, Diego does not deserve to be with Jocelyn. The only good thing about this book is that Jocelyn made Diego beg for a while. Diego is portrayed in this book very differently than in the other books, and he acted very much out of character, but I will not forget. I never will forget. I don't forget how he acted in the other books in the series. So much high school drama, so much slut shaming. I don't understand Cammy, the character. Cammy is the villain of this entire series. We know from the beginning that she lies. And still, throughout every single book, you guys believe Cammy as if she's the truth speaker.
She lies!
It's been literally there since the beginning, and I don't understand why you guys keep going back and believing everything she says. Now, the last full book of the series is Making Her Mine, and guess what? This book actually gets, shocker, ready? 2 stars. I think the earth just rumbled under me. Now, this book is about Jakey's younger brother, and he's actually nice. I actually like this guy, and that's the good part about the series. And then we get this really stupid, really unnecessary plot twist just to make this book, I'm guessing, 50 pages longer, because it brought nothing to the story, absolutely nothing, because we didn't even get tension from it. And what I hated the most was probably there was a Cammy 2.0. Made no sense to me why that existed, and it's just too much drama. Leave me alone with all the drama. Not just friendship drama, also boys drama. After that, I read When Bay. The title already makes me hurl. So this is obviously out of Addie's perspective, who's the girl in the first book. I don't think I ever mentioned her name. That's how irrelevant she is to me. This is her prequel, and I'm just going to read to you some of the chapter titles because I think they're very inspirational. When Bay Has Thoughts. That's a good one. So deep. I literally need to rethink my life after this, because how is that actually a sentence that exists? Let me give you another inspirational quote. When Bay won't stop looking at you. Yeah, That's all I have to say. The last book in the Callahan series is The Callahan Wedding, which, if you don't read any of the other books, this could be a solid 3-star read. But I did read the other books, so I do know that all these guys are slut-shamers and hate women, so it deserves 1 star. Then I read the Codger series. First is The Freshman, which I actually gave 1.75 stars. This book is about Tony and Hayden. The biggest issue about this entire book is that Hayden and Tony are from enemy families. So we obviously are going to be expecting lots of drama involving that. Spoiler, we don't get any because there's a giant time skip and we just go through all the problems without even ever solving them. And I don't get why it was even then there in the beginning if we're just going to skip over the entire thing in the first place. On top of that, there was stupid fucking Caleb in this book, who, by the way, is in every single one of these books and has his own book. And he is awful. I hate that man so much. He treats women like objects, and he tells Tony to also treat women like objects. Why are you associating yourself with assholes? I don't get you, Tony. This book, I'm literally about to lose my mind. First and foremost, Jackson, you suck. I don't ever want to see you again. I don't want to see you near Ellie ever again, okay? So we have Jackson, who is a singer. He knows that Ellie is in love with him, and he misuses that throughout the entire book. Ellie is the sweet, innocent girl who's had a crush on him for so long, and I'm also like, Ellie, please move on. She tries to keep her distance, and then Jackson goes, no, I need you in my life. And then you go around and sleeping with other women? What are you doing? And on top of that, we have this awful scene with Eli, who 2 of these books are about. So this is the scene. Ellie and Ava, who is Eli's love interest, are best friends, okay? Ava knows that Ellie has a crush on Jackson and that Jackson knows as well and that Jackson misuses this. One day, Ava confronts Jackson about this and tells him to stop. And then Eli says this to his girlfriend.
Girl, you need to calm down. You're pissing off all my friends.
Ava then says to Eli, funny how you used to hate Caleb back when he flirted with me. And then Eli says this.
Ava, babe, you're on fire tonight. Why are you starting so much drama?
Literally shut the fuck up, Eli, and literally get a life outside making your girlfriend seem like a object and belittling her. And then I wrote the junior. And this book is about the one and only Caleb, aka my biggest nightmare. I will never like him ever in my entire life. 1, this guy talks shit about his best friend's girlfriends with his friends. 2, okay, so the love interest in this book is Gracie. Caleb still acts like a 5-year-old and likes to get her attention by annoying her. Literally grow up. And then do you want to know who this book is about? Guess who? A new character, or B, Eli. What is that?
Yeah, fucking Eli!
So Eli and Ava in this book have drama in their relationship. He does so many awful things yet again in this book. I have a nice list on my laptop about why I hate this guy. 1, Ava and Eli obviously break up in this book. And then he literally says this when Caleb shames Ava.
I would want to say something to Caleb, but then I remember I'm not dating Ava anymore. It's not my place.
You're telling me that the girl you're trying to get back together with, that you're allowing your best friend to literally talk about her? 2, Ava goes on a trip to Europe. So Eli's obviously, no, you can't go because if you go, you choose Europe over me, which means you love Europe more than me, which means you don't love me. So in this book then, after they get back together, Eli tells Ava that they should take a break of the relationship because he's struggling at football ever since they've gotten back together. When Ava then says that you didn't allow me to go to Europe because you said I was ditching you, he says, this is totally different. 3, Ava gets pregnant and Eli thinks it's the perfect opportunity to corrupt and manipulate his girlfriend because he thinks, oh my god, my girlfriend can't leave me now because she's pregnant with my baby. He proposes to her. They have not resolved their issues and I don't want them to resolve their issues because I don't want them to end up together, and they
do.
She loses the baby, but he thinks, oh my god, now I can't force her to stay here with me and she can go back to college in another state. You for trying to possess your girlfriend. Now, I read 7 books by Brittainy C Cherry and I enjoyed a lot of them. The first book I read is The Air He Breathes, and I gave this book 3.25 stars. So this book is a second chance romance with lots of tragic losses. And I started crying in the beginning, and then I cried again near the end. Tristan and Elizabeth have lost so many things in their life, and I felt so bad for both of these characters. The issue is, though, how they started their relationship, because it started so quickly. I did not expect it. Since I did, however, love the overall plot, I still thought that this was pretty good, but yet again, I think that these characters did not heal enough by the end of the epilogue. I think they would have needed a little bit more time, and I think this book is just a bit too short. I would have loved to have another 100 pages. Now, here's a dumb thing I did to why this book actually has the 3 stars and not the 4 stars. I predicted the plot twist, so the little gasp moments, like the that moment was stolen from me. Yeah, you know, it's just kind of sad that I predicted the plot twist. I still liked it, but yes, 3.25 stars. The next book I read from Brittainy C Cherry is The Fire Between High and Low, and I gave this book 3.75 to 4 stars. I absolutely love friends to lovers, and in this book, the chemistry was amazing. This book is about Logan and Alyssa, who were best friends as children. Then something happens that involves Logan, and I absolutely loved how these characters were built up. I wanted to hug Alyssa and Logan throughout this entire book, especially Logan. My favorite parts were definitely the flashbacks to when they were 18 and in love for the first time. I thought it was super cute. The only issue I have with this book, and that's why I saw 4 stars, is yet again, it's a bit too dramatic for me. There are too many different plot lines. I think one could have been cut out. The next book I read is The Silent Waters, and this is definitely my favorite book of Brittainy C Cherry so far. It's definitely 4.25, maybe even 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved the characters in this book. Brooks and Maggie, the 2 main characters, are, in my opinion, I think my OTP for Brittainy C Cherry. I loved them. I was rooting for them. It's a brother's best friend as well as just best friends to lovers trope. Maggie went through a very traumatic event when she was 10 years old and she stopped speaking afterwards. And also Maggie was just such a kind and heartwarming character. She always cared for everybody, her family, her friends. And then there was Brooks, who was so kind-hearted and wanted to keep Maggie safe at all times. I absolutely loved Maggie's dad. I thought he was such a great father figure in this book. I have a bit of a strange relationship with a few of the other characters just because of how they acted towards Maggie, and I don't like how they treated Maggie because Maggie is my baby and I'm keeping her safe because I love her and I understand why she acted the way she acted as well as why Brooks acted the way he acted. And there are some very emotional scenes in this book that made me bawl. I was so sad and I just wanted to protect Maggie at all costs. Now, the next book of Brittainy C Cherry I read is The Gravity of Us, which is the last book in the Element series. And this is sadly my least favorite. I gave this 2.5 to 3 stars. So this is a very short book, as you can tell. And there is so much packed into here. I also just did not like the love interest. I loved Lucy. I thought she was amazing. She was caring. She was lovable. I love
Lucy!
And then there's Graham Russell, aka Graham Cracker. He was rude towards Lucy in so many scenes that I did not like him. And I was not rooting for Lucy and Graham. I did not understand because Lucy did nothing wrong, and I did not understand why he would act that way then towards her especially. And I get it's Grumpy Sunshine, but he was a bit too grumpy for me. And I wanted to hug Graham as a child all the time because I felt so horrible for him. But that doesn't excuse the way he treated Lucy, obviously. And I just wish that there was maybe one less plot twist in here, especially the last one. It just made me so mad and annoyed because I was like, why did it have to be included? It was literally a punch to the face for me. Overall, I still loved Lucy. Graham, I don't know how I feel about you. The next book out is Southern Storms. This book was okay. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved the 2 characters. I thought they had so much chemistry. Jax and Kennedy's relationship developed in a way that I absolutely loved. Jax and Kennedy have a connected past, and when it's revealed, I absolutely loved the flashback scenes that they had together. I think that they were super cute. I wanted to hug Jax at all costs. I wanted to protect him from the evils of this world, and he was just a super kind character throughout this entire series. And I loved him. The only issue is Kennedy didn't have enough time in my head. Kennedy was such a broken character in the beginning because she goes through so much, and I think that she needed a bit more time to heal since this is yet again a bit of a shorter book. On the other hand, I absolutely loved Connor, the side character, and Connor was amazing. He was funny. He was there for Jax. He was there for Kennedy. I loved him. I also absolutely think that he brought so many new things to the story too. I sadly was a bit unsatisfied with the ending because a big thing is revealed that actually had me shocked. I did not predict it at all. I had my gasp moment and I was terrified. We don't get enough, in my opinion, on that. I think we needed way more plot after that. I missed like 20 to 30 pages of how he handled this situation. Again, the chemistry was there, but just something about the plot was a bit off. Then, however, I read Eastern Lights, and this book is 4 stars. I love this. And guess what this is about? I love this book. Connor and Alia meet in New York City on a mysterious night and they have one evening together and you can tell right away they are in love. The chemistry between them is so good. I am rooting for this couple. Not only is Connor this amazing, caring, funny character that you want to protect at all costs, but Alia is so sweet and fun and caring as well, and I just love both of these main characters. I wanted to hug them at all times. They were so cute. Both Alia's and Connor's personalities, I think, fit perfectly together. I think they made each other an even better person, even though both of them, in my opinion, were already almost perfect. Alia is such a strong character that deserves everything on this planet. Connor went through so much in the past, and I understand the way he acted in this book fully because of what he went through in his life. It's a normal reaction to have those feelings, and I really liked how realistic that was in that sense. Then, however, we meet so many other characters from Alia's life where I just wanted to literally say, fuck you all. I don't like any of you. I also did not expect the plot twist at all. I'm going to be fully honest. I was like, what? That makes absolutely no effing sense. But then when you think about it, it actually does make sense. And I was really happy that it all connected and actually really put the plot together. The only issue I have with this book is why it's not 5 stars. There's a small extra storyline that I can't really talk about that confused me the tiniest bit, because why was that involved? Maybe it was a bit too much drama yet again. But, you know, and if you want a relationship between two guys that's very much Kenji and Aaron Warner, you will like this book because Kenji is Connor and Aaron Warner is Damien. Then I read Western Waves. This book is a solid 3 stars. Western Waves is an arranged marriage book with Damien, who was obviously introduced in Eastern Lights, and I really like that character. But so this might just be me, but this book is about Stella and Damien, right? And they're an arranged marriage because of someone that I can't really introduce yet, because that person gets revealed in Eastern Lights, and I don't want it to be a spoiler, but that person forces them to be technically in an arranged marriage, and because of the relationship between those 3 characters, I was a bit uncomfortable because it made me a bit confused on how this was arranged in the first place. I was just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit disgusted. But then again, I absolutely love Stella as a character. Stella is, in my opinion, a very, very strong character. She was so sweet and caring, again, saw the best in everybody, as well as Damien, which is why I think, in my opinion, this Grumpy Sunshine relationship really, really worked very well. Damien changed so much throughout this book to open up to Stella. Their first real interaction as a couple, like couple in love more like, was really confusing and out of the blue to me. It was very quick and very much 0 to 100 in less than 1 millisecond. I was very much, wait, how did we get from this to there? Where is start, where is beginning? And why are we here? The pacing was good, but then this went off like, boom! Everything was like this, la 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 la. Then I did not predict the plot twist at all, which is a secret that was mentioned in the beginning, and it was revealed the plot twist, and I was like, it actually does make a lot of sense. How did I not guess this? I love this. And then also Connor had a lot of scenes in this book, and I love Connor from the last book, so I've been really happy to see them. But this is how the drama and pain was served to me. It wouldn't stop. There was just so much coming, one after the other, and then when we saw Damien's childhood, I just wanted to cry even more, and then we saw Stella's childhood, I wanted to cry even more because everybody was so awful, and then there's like even more past and more revealed, and it's even sadder. And why? Next, I have a Rubber Girl, which is a 4, maybe even 5-star read of mine. I think about this book quite a lot, and I have not stopped thinking about this book since I read it. I only annotated this with highlighter, and I highlighted so many quotes that were so important to me because this book really dives deep into the topic of sexuality, since it's a sapphic romance book, and it's set in, I would say, a medieval type world where there's a snow queen that literally controls and kind of haunts this world, but nobody knows it, only a few people know it. And we get introduced to witches, and Helvig and Gerda, the main characters of this book, go onto this hunt to find the Snow Queen. And Gerda and Helvig are, strangers in the beginning, but I love how their relationship develops throughout this book. The romance, in my opinion, is super cute, even though it's super subtle. I also appreciate and love the folk's tale part of the story. It's so good. I absolutely love this type of story. It makes me feel really warm and comfy, and I love the combination of it. I also just love the description in this book of the scenery, of the forest, of the snow, since we are on a hunt towards the Snow Queen. So there's a lot of snow and they're walking, there's a lot of distance. And I also really like the ending, and for such a short book, I think this book is like less than 200 pages. The story was paced in such a great way, as well as it felt like, even though it's only 200 pages, I got all the information I needed, and it still felt like a full, I would say, like 400-page book. I'm gonna be honest, I wish I read this during Christmas, because that's where I really want to read this book. Then I read the ebook version of Tattered by Devney Perry, which is a small town single mom romance! And I gave that book 4 stars. First, I really loved Thea. I thought Thea was an amazing mother in this entire series. I loved how she always put her daughter Charlie first, even before her own needs, which I just throughout the entire book, it was seen how she really cared. And then there was also Hazel, who cared about Charlie the exact same way, and the entire vibe of the small town really made everything really good. Then we have Logan, the love interest, obviously, and he has such a great relationship with Charlie. He really tries. He is, though, indeed a little bit selfish in the beginning, but I love how he develops into a better person by the end. Overall, it's a really good single parents trope with obviously the rich, really rich, famous guy versus woman from small town type relationship. And I think that the chemistry between Logan and Thea was definitely there. I really liked how their relationship developed throughout this entire book. And yet again, I love how they put Charlie's needs before their own. There is one plot line of this entire story that is very separate to everything else going on, and it just added, I would say, another 30 pages to the book, and I thought it was really unnecessary. So this is why the book isn't 5 stars. I wish it wasn't there. It really doesn't do anything for anyone. Then, because I like Tattered so much, I thought I'd listen to the 3 books from that series that follow Tattered as audiobooks, and let's just be prepared for some negative reviews because I did not like these books. The first book is Timid. I gave this book a whopping 1 stars, and why, you may ask? Because I don't like Jackson. And Willa, I don't really know how I feel about you either. So basically the story is about an unrequited crush that Willa has had on Jackson for multiple years, and Jackson has never seen her. I'm going to be fully honest, I don't get that in a small town. I don't get Jackson. Now I'm going to have to give you all a spoiler warning because this is a pretty big thing that happens. At one point in Tattered, Jackson gets this artwork of Willa, and for the first time he sees Willa's face, and because he thinks she's so hot, he wants to go to Willa now. And I'm like, you have seen Willa at your workplace every day because Willa shows up every day, and you have continued to mispronounce her name every day, and you have continued to not notice what she looks like for multiple years?
What?
I don't like this. I don't think Jackson deserves Willa at all. I was also pretty mad at Willa that she, in the end, did not get over Jackson, that she still gave him a chance and ended up with him, because I don't think that should have happened. And even though his past was sprinkled in there, which was emotional, I still don't think that excuses at all how he ignored Willa for years and how he treated her like a fucking ghost. I did not like this at all. Then I listened to Tragic by Devney Perry, which is the 3rd book, and
What fucking stars? I want to give this book 0 stars.
I hate this book so much. This book started off great. I was like excited excited for the premise. Everything made me seem really interested in this book. There was Kane, who was this brooding man who has a dark past. Nobody knows about anything. He's this mystery in this small town. Then there's Piper, who moves there and who's kind of interested in him, and they connect really quickly. And she's like, oh, who are you? You're mysterious and fruity and cold, and I'm attracted to you. I was excited.
And then I hated it.
For one, Kane has anger issues, and they are really prevalent throughout the entire series, and I do not think that he should be around children. He lashed out once in this book, and I was like, what the actual why the fuck is nobody telling him to go to therapy? Because this is so wrong. I understand his past. I know his past is tragic. Hint the title of the book. Kane went through so much in his life, and that still doesn't excuse his behavior and his anger. In this one scene, I was really like, I
think he needs help.
And then when his past is revealed, right, what happened, I was shocked. I was hurt for him. I was like in pain. I wanted to hug him, right? And then we get to the plot twist, and I was disappointed, because I'm trying to explain this without giving you any spoilers. At some point, you cannot forgive and you cannot forget, okay? I do not think that the ending that happened should have happened. The way that Kane acted in the end, I was like, there is no way, the way you acted throughout this entire book, that you would forgive and forget. Then I listened to the audiobook of Tinsel, which is about Logan's little sister. And honestly, I was kind of excited for this because I really didn't like Logan's little sister in Tatter. I thought she was a really mean girl. Then we do find out a little bit more about her past, and I kind of understand the way she acted or where it's coming from. It's not justified, but now here's where my issue lies with this book and why this book has 1 star. The love interest in this book, the guy, he does some things I'm not comfortable with, I would say, because Dakota talked about his family as if he hated every single one of them, and he thought that they were all awful and he wanted nothing to do with his family. Going to be fully honest, I did not get that, and I also then didn't like how Sophia, the girl, reacted to all this. It made me uncomfortable. Then I read a reread, that is Alice in Wonderland. This is literally the shortest book ever. This story was read to me, I'm pretty sure, like 3 times a week when I was a child. I absolutely loved Alice in Wonderland. Then I had to finish this ebook that I picked up, I would say 4 months ago now, and that's The Beast by Katie Robert, and it's just 0 stars. I'm so sorry. I started reading that book, 4 months ago, and I got halfway through the book and I was just so bored. So I finished it, I went through the pain, and I did not like it. Then I read 2 books by Jen Deluca. I read Well Met last year, and I'm pretty sure it's 4 or 5 stars. I think it's 5 stars. I absolutely love the story. It's a small town universe with a fair that has medieval features, and I thought it was really interesting, a really cute setting, and so I wanted to read the other 2 books. Sadly, I was disappointed. First, I read Well Played. The biggest issue about the book Well Played is the entire plot is revealed on the blurb. Do you know those Lifetime movie trailers that give you the entire plot? This right here. I don't even know how to explain this because obviously it's all a spoiler since the back of this thing is an entire spoiler. So this is a book with secret identity, and then it's supposed to be a big reveal where we find out who the real guy is, because Stacy has been emailing a guy she thinks is Dex for the entire summer, and she keeps thinking that she's falling in love with Dex, this guy she's been hooking up with every summer at the fair. But then on the back it says that it's actually not Dex, and she's been falling in love with a different man throughout the entire book. But the thing is though, that there's only one other guy mentioned right away from the beginning, so you know it's him.
You know it's him, and then it's him, and then it's not a big, oh my god, the gasp moment.
Because right from the beginning, you look out then for any guy who isn't Dex that interacts with Stacy, and I just thought that kind of ruined this book. So this book is a 2-star read. I still cried in a few of the scenes because I thought they were relatable, but overall, I'm just really mad at the blurb because it definitely ruined the story for me. Then I read Well Matched by Jen Deluca, and this book was okay. I gave this book 3 stars. I actually really liked Mitch, the love interest in this book. I thought his background story and his relationship with his family was really interesting. On top of it, this book is a fake dating book between obviously Mitch and April, and I thought the relationship was really cute though. I think Mitch was definitely in love with April. However, April, I do not think was as in love with Mitch. She was definitely not that interested in Mitch in my opinion, and even not in the end. However, I still really liked April whenever she was alone. Like whenever no one was around her, I thought she was amazing. I loved her then as a character, but Whenever she interacted with Mitch or any other character, I found her really annoying. Did I, however, cry while reading this book? Yes, indeed I did. Because it just hit home and the tears were just flooding down my face. So this is a good 3-star read. Now I have a few books left that I don't really want to talk about, but I do because I've read them in this month. So here we go. First is Stroke of Midnight by Kay Webster. This is the first book I read this month. Mind you, I also found out, I would say a week ago, that she wrote a series called Hoodlum series and that she's racist. So that's disappointing, but I already didn't like Kay Webster anyways because this book is a whopping 0 stars. I don't like Kay Webster at all. I don't understand how anybody can think that this is a healthy relationship. So this book is an age gap romance. The girl is 18 and he is as old as her father. I'm going to be reading to you some quotes now that I wrote down. Focus, child. She swings her feet back and forth beneath her like a child. He thought this right after making her an offer to pay her for sexual offers. When you're rich as fuck, not much excites you anymore. When you do find something, you obsess over it. You, my child, are my newest obsession. I wish I could burn this book from my memory because it's so fucking awful. And then I read Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I thrifted this book and I regret thrifting this book. I regret spending $1 on this because every second word in this book is literally fuck. There's fetishization there in here of gay as well as lesbian relationships, and there's so much of that in here that I don't understand how this could have been good in any fucking way, and I don't want to talk anymore about this book because it's so awful. The last 2 books in my reading wrap up for August are 2 books. Basically, I first read Dirty Letters, and I actually quite enjoyed this book. I didn't have an issue with it. Then I read Happily Ever After, and in this book, there's a lot of negative stereotypes against Chinese people, as well as racism, as well as slurs against biracial people. I don't understand why you would include this. In Happily Ever After, the girl is adopted, and this is then what she proceeds to say. I took a 23andMe DNA test. And then she tells Seb that she is 4% Chinese. And then she proceeds to say this. Ever since I found that out, I feel like I got better at chopsticks. And then Seb tries to eat something with his chopsticks and he drops the food. So he proceeds to say, must be because I'm not 4% Chinese. And then I'm gonna put up a screenshot. I don't get why this was included. Again, both of these authors are white and I don't understand any of this. Nothing of this brought anything to the plot. I don't know why you would do this. I'm kind of sad that I'm ending this wrap up on a sad and angry note because that's the last book, but I guess I have to. Yeah, those are all the books I read in the month of August. I hope you enjoyed this video and this reading wrap up, and if you did, you can give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my content, you can subscribe. If you have read any of these books and you like them or dislike them, feel free to tell me your opinion on these. So yeah, thank you again for watching this video. Have a great day, evening, nighttime, morning, whatever time you're in. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Go read a book or review a book. If you're reading one, read this because it's just so fucking good. No one understands. I'm so excited. I'm literally going to read this again to annotate it because this book is literally now my new favorite and I think everybody should read this. Again, have a great day, happy reading, and see you next time. Bye!